That's a rocket.
The Eye in Big Trouble in Little Chinatown features adult themes, language, and situations. Discretion is advised. 以成人为主题，语言跟情况小心。
Crime may like to hide in the shadows, but it can never really hide from the eye.
Smell that sweet aroma. Smells exotic, fruity, serene, alluring, and like a moonlit seaside. That's Delicate Flower Parfum. Subsidiary of Squidbeak Communications, Delicate Flower produces an unmistakable scent that makes you the want of every man and the envy of every woman. Perfect for the office, a night out dancing, or just making yourself feel special around the house. Everyone will love the smell of your delicate flower. And now, WK Nut proudly presents everyone's favorite monoculous officer of the law, the Eye in Big Trouble in Little Chinatown.
The street smelled like a bad barbecue, the charred remains of something once promising. The fire brigade cleared the mess in about 20 minutes, and a few of our boys in blue had gone to find a judge and get us a warrant for Susanoo. The Chinatown precinct sent two of their finest in to help with the mess, Detective Gozu Fan and Detective Meizu Shi. I'd known them for years. The streets of Chinatown had known them most of their lives, and they had known each other longer than that.
You were out here at the time the whole thing went up?
I was near the area when the incident occurred.
She was here on account of me, but I think I should tell you she has this...
One lie, one truth. Yeah, we got it.
Not our first run-in with the young lady. Shima.
It is.
You didn't see anything?
No one lurking around carrying cans of gasoline? Taking time to be some sort of anarchist artist?
We're not accusing you of anything.
We know you're not good for this.
Just trying to get the facts.
That's all we want.
And you're a good citizen, no matter what Jiao makes you do. I'm sure you want to help.
Did you see anything?
Or rather, notice anything?
My eyes were wide open. I saw nothing.
你要用中文吗？
这样他听不懂。
这会让你更舒服吗？
我被派到这里来帮忙。
那是一个好的礼物。
很好的帮手。
他在帮忙，因为他喜欢他。
不关系掉说什么。
It felt like I was taking a chemistry test. I didn't know what the hell was happening, but I could see some reactions. Ilis was blushing. Fan was smiling, and she was laughing.
You have a good partner.
I mean, she's a good liar.
Only half the time.
And that ain't half bad.
Yeah, but she's confusing all the time. Guess that makes her like any other dame. And the Yakuza? Any word on their previous involvement in Chinatown?
Nothing much on our end.
Occasional run-ins with them. It's all financial transactions, business dealings, acquisitions.
Movements.
But not acts of war.
But this is different.
New.
Unexpected.
So you think it's legit?
I have no reason not to.
Do you?
I saw Susanoo tonight. Him and two of his triggermen swore up and down to me that he had nothing to do with any attempted coup on Chinatown.
Doesn't sound like apodictic testimony to me.
So what reason do you have to believe them?
Perps don't always tell the truth.
Something told me he was. And then a flaming face in the middle of the street told me he wasn't.
One of those seems more tangible.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too.
And the deceased girl? You find anything out about her yet?
Couple of things. Name, Jian, 21 years old, farm girl, came here 6 months ago, worked for Sifan at the docks as a...
The word you are thinking of is bait.
I didn't know that was the word, but yeah, it fits. Thing that doesn't fit, though, is that even though she was brought to work at the docks, I got a damn good witness that tells me she never started a shift. Note they found on her points to the Yakuza and the Triads having some difficulty getting along. Came here to talk to the Hoppers, who I'm not convinced aren't somehow involved. They almost put me in a Chicago overcoat. I get out and see this, and that's where we are. in the middle of the street, trying to put a puzzle together upside down.
Hoppers are shady.
Everybody you listed was shady.
Yeah, but the Jiangshi live in the shadows.
I see what you did there.
You talked to who hired the girl yet?
Next on the list.
The triads?
Nope.
Pearl of the East?
Definitely putting that one off as long as I can.
I see you've met the owners.
Want us to walk you in?
Every now and then, the city will throw a hullabaloo to honor the men and women that served the country. A couple of years back, I went to one that was also showcasing what they said was the tri-state area's best bowl of chili. Chili had always been my favorite dish, so I had me a healthy dose of it. Maybe too healthy. After putting in 2 all-nighters with the porcelain gods and a week in bed, the thought of my once favorite meal now puts me into convulsions. I feel the same way about the Mogwai. Only I never liked them none. Green, scaly, contentious, and standing up to your belly button, the owners of Pearl of the East are a bunch of blabbermouth dipsticks that are behind the 8 ball to everyone who's ever met them. Chinese immigrants from back before there was a China. I hear tell that on account of their award-winning personalities, there's only 4 Mogwai left in all existence. For my money, that's 4 too many.
Well, spank my scaly butt. We got customers.
Guys, donut shop's down the street.
Like these butterballs are gonna walk.
Want watches? We got watches. Want rings? Got rings. Want chicken bones? Got chicken bones. That's my lunch, Choco Box.
We're not here for shopping,
We only want information.
so listen up.
Sure thing, egg roll.
We are reaching up real good. That's good. You got 2 impressions for the price of 1. $50. For the faceless one in the back. He was making his eyes all slanty when he did that. $20.
$30.
I got chicken bones. You want chicken bones?
That's his lunch, fecal face.
I'll sell it to you for $40.
I don't want to play games with you. I don't want to be here. I just want to get in and out.
That's what we said to his mom last night.
Tell him I got a one-eye monster for right here.
Won't be able to hear 'cause our ears are full. I don't even know what that means. I probably took it too far.
His mom took it too far.
You're only carrying $10.
Is that my wallet?
I sewed my pockets shut before we came in.
Ditto.
I sewed your mom shut.
There was a dead girl found outside here last night. Tonight, a bonfire. Any mysterious figures lurking about that aren't supposed to be here?
I saw a one-eyed cop and a freaky broad with no face.
有没有日本人？
啊，为什么你要说中文？毁了我们的开心，小明。
因为我知道你会给我答案 Gremlin.
Japos, Jinx, Puerto Ricans, you all look Mexican to me.
You are Chinese.
Yeah, but can you tell us apart?
Break out the measuring tape.
All right, that's it. Pull out your little mogwais.
Really little for you.
Hold it here.
And get the stacked one with no face to jiggle the moneymakers for you.
Hey, getaway sticks. How about a table dance, huh?
Hey, can I lick your feet?
你要回答我，或者我会杀了你。你有没有见过 Yakuza?
Whoa, that dame's camping because she is intense. Intense. Which one of yous is doing her?
I'm not.
Not it.
I'll take the bullet.
She can take my bullet.
I ain't seen no yakuza around here.
That's what they want, right? What? They like ninjas, yeah?
Ah, I see his point.
But if he wears pants, you won't.
If we were seeing them doing they stuff, they'd be bad at Yakuza-ing. What's they got their own turf?
But rumors.
What kind of rumors?
Alligators in the sewer.
I heard the Statue of Liberty's got a penis.
Rumors about the war between the Yakuza and the Triads.
Where'd you hear these rumors?
Yo, I'll back him up on it. There was a bulge in the robe.
Big old dick.
Radio. We listen to the radio a lot.
Only for the articles.
You heard on the radio something about a gang turf war?
Between the Yakuza and the Triads?
Clean out your ears, Kung
That's
Pao.
what he just said.
Bring back that scary broad.
I don't think she left. They don't let her talk none.
Uncivilized pigs.
Did you know the girl?
What girl?
That girl.
I see her.
We ain't gotta talk like she's not in the womb.
Uncivilized pigs.
The dead girl.
Is it everybody here dead? Or something like that?
Don't play dumb.
I don't think he's playing, boss man.
Enough! Did you know the dead girl?
Nope.
Nuh-uh.
I know what's a dead girl.
Shut the hell
You
up.
shut the hell up. They didn't know her either. Sir. Detective, sir.
Any Yakuza sightings around here?
Here specifically, no, but we heard they got plans for Chinatown. Yeah, plans and shit. I don't know.
The Jiangshi. Do you trust them?
Weird question, and I peed a little. Pass.
No.
Why?
creepy vampire things?
Would they kill somebody like that?
I don't know. They kill somebody
You
definitely.
should probably ask them this stuff.
Not the do you trust them part, though.
Oh, no, definitely not that part.
But I wouldn't leave her there.
No, they take her back to the lair.
They feed on them. Don't just...
Yeah,
don't-
yeah.
You interested in a watch? I can cut you a good deal.
Hey, tell them about the chicken bone.
I left the Pearl of the East with a little bit of a headache, a little bit of information, and an idea of what I was getting my sister for her birthday. Fawn and she wanted to get some food, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to run some info by them. Plus, my noseless partner didn't seem to mind the idea. There's some adage about food being the path to a man's love, but if you ask me, it's the way towards world peace. Every culture is in love with its mother's own cooking. Reminds them of home. They can compare recipes, share commonalities. I've seen mafia wars stop over a good plate of baked ziti. If New York has one thing to write home about, it's not the subways, it's not the crime, it's not even the Broadway shows. It's any and every type of food you could ever want. Beside Baxter and Hogan, right beside Columbus, the Chinatown detectives brought us to this street-side attraction called the Bang Bang. Stools outside so you could see the beauty of the city and still enjoy your John Bing. Served with a side of Mongolian death worms, the little suckers sure squirm in your chopsticks and offer nice little electric shocks with every bite.
I can't stand Mogwai.
They're complicated.
Tangled up balls of twiny disappointment.
Unraveling clue for clues.
Do you buy what they said about the Yakuza rumors?
I do, but only because I don't know why they'd be selling it. It gets them nowhere and nothing. I just don't understand why some broadcaster would have information that the Force didn't.
I wouldn't put it past the Yakuza.
But it seems out of step.
Agreed.
They were delightful little shits.
They brought up a good point about the Hoppers, though.
You still think they're involved?
Oh, they leave that bad of an impression?
They were just resistant about answering some of the questions I was posing. It was a rough game of tennis, and nobody was getting a point across. No love.
No outsiders in?
He's definitely an outsider.
Want us to take a run at him?
Yeah, if you want. I think we're going to head to Panlong, the hiring agency, have a few words. Follow that up with Wukong and the Triads.
Good luck with the king.
At least it's not more Mogwai.
It seems prudent to place an order for more jiangbing for our travels.
Didn't you just eat like 6 pounds of dumplings?
I don't know what you're talking about. Daro Isha.
A couple of blocks away, we found Panlong. Owned by Sifan, this little company was the battery that kept the docks running. My pretty little liar had already scoped the place out, but some of her intel didn't jive. I didn't know if it was lost in translation or if more than one person in this case wasn't telling the truth. I leaned towards the latter, but I had to know for sure.
Shagunyan, you come back so soon. You must have missed my storytelling. And you brought a friend with you. I love visits.
Detective Victor Kane, MNYPD. I'd like to ask you a few questions, ma'am.
Oh, Detective Sen. Of course. Let us sit somewhere more comfortable.
She was an old lady that moved with a hunch in her back and an echo in her step. Slowly but surely, she took us to a back room, where the front had seemed like a regular office, with a desk and filing cabinets. This was a parlor. A love seat, small table, few chairs, and enough plants to clean the air in Los Angeles. She sat and immediately started pouring us cups of tea.
Now, Tangwa, what is it I can help you with?
Just a few questions, ma'am, and we'll be out of your hair.
In the distant past, I came here and asked you of a girl. My partner demands to know what you told me.
Jian was the girl's name. Young girl she was. Farm girl, raised in Nanjusi, I believe. A small village in the Shandong province. Remote, small. The doctor and his family give opportunity to those who would not normally have such opportunity. The doctor is a wise man to do such a thing. Good karma comes from this.
And so John worked at the docks for the past 6 months?
She did. Good worker. She worked with the cleaning crew. That's what the girls come here for. They work with Igwai, Sometimes they can be hard to handle.
Oh, we met some of those monsters.
Oh, no, Bao Bao. I was speaking of the girls. It is hard to adjust to life here in such a big city when one comes from such a small place. But Jian adjusted well.
Where exactly did she live?
Somewhere in Chinatown, I'm sure. I do not pry into their personal lives, only work reports.
Work reports. I'm assuming those are signed by the dockmaster?
But, of course.
And I could read some of those?
Only if you speak Chinese. The dockmaster writes them in Chinese, of course.
Oh, really? And what's the dockmaster's name? So I can put it in my records.
At the moment, I am having difficulty remembering Tianci. Old age. The tea is almost ready.
She seems to have memory problems.
Understandable. Gives me some problems every now and then, too.
I've never had memory problems.
Well, if I could see those work reports, I could just get the name from them. Translator or something like that.
Oh, Chonger, of course. Of course. Those papers are at a different facility, though. In a few days, I will have them for you. Now, you both must sit and drink tea with me.
Of course. Just a few more questions.
Of course.
What do you know about the Yakuza?
Kai, they are terrible. Always coming here with their threats. They have tried to destroy our company and seize control of the docks many and many a time.
They've come here? Trying to intimidate you?
So many times. Leaving that dreadful symbol everywhere. The grinning face of a demon. I have seen it. I have seen their menace.
Have you ever reported it to the police?
The owners do. But this is Chinatown. There are other crimes. Gang wars are not a priority, sadly. 我的漂亮的男孩.
That is sad.
I looked to my hard-to-read partner and tried to use her body language to figure out what she was lying about. For a moment, I kept reading the same sentence over and over again. But then it occurred to me, she was doing some detecting of her own. She was deep in thought. And apparently, so was I, because it took me a moment to realize that the old woman had kept talking.
There is a problem with the Japanese. They hate the Chinese because we are civilized. They lack such properties. They have wicked ways. My mother would tell me. The tea smells delicious. My mother would tell me stories of Japanese travelers. She would say that they would look differently at Chinese women. She would ask them why, and they would say, "We are looking for your women's beards." My mother would tell me this when I was young, that was long ago. Long ago. Tea?
The tea did smell delicious. Enticing, one might even say. I barely realized I had reached down and taken a cup in my grasp, moving it to my lips for a drink. It only really occurred to me once Miss No-Face stopped me with her hand in a whisper.
I remember everything from my first visit here, after I drank the tea.
I looked towards our gracious host, and for the first time I noticed something about her smile. It was aimed like a gun in our direction, and there was something just as lethal about it. I looked at the tea in my hand. It seemed benign enough, but just to be on the safe side, I dumped it in the pot of one of the nearby plants. I'm not going to say the plant didn't like the taste, but a bubble in the soil let me know that the poor little greenery didn't want a second glass. Crosstalk had whispered. I was obvious about my actions. But when I turned back to our server, her cocked and loaded smile hadn't changed its trajectory. She smiled and nodded, staring in our direction, blankly. She couldn't see a damn thing. She hadn't seen any Yakuza. She most likely hadn't seen anything in centuries. She was blind. Thanks for the Liptons. More of a whiskey man myself. Her face dropped some. It was hard to tell if it was from my smartassery or the sound of approaching footsteps.
明婆，你在前面避得好一点。
A newcomer was in the room. A young woman dressed like she was ready to take over the world and had the contracts all written up to do it. The moment she spoke, the old blind lady left like a scorned child.
Detectives?
Yes.
She looked familiar, but I couldn't quite put the finger on whether she bore a resemblance to someone I knew, or if I didn't know enough Chinese people. What does that say about me?
Follow Manchu. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. How can I be of service?
You're the doctor's,
Daughter.
She said it flatly, sounding almost disappointed that I hadn't already figured it out. Daughter. That makes sense. Pleasure to meet you as well.
And you're Victor Kane, is that correct?
Always troublesome when someone knows my name without me knowing it.
Oh. No need for alarm. I'm just an avid reader.
Crime stories float your boat?
A favorite genre of mine. Certainly. And you are?
Shang Sheng with the MNYPD.
Well, detectives, I'm afraid it's still business hours. I don't mean to seem rushed, but is there anything I might help you with?
I'd like to see some work reports, but I understand that they're kept at a different facility.
That's correct. Sifan has a central filing facility on the Upper East Side. All pertinent paperwork of any of the company's holdings go there a week after initial filing.
What kind of paperwork would that include?
Everything, really. Employment contracts, applications, bills, personal information.
Those work reports.
Those work reports.
We would need you to have those papers sent to us immediately.
I can definitely put in a request. Might take some time, bureaucracy being what it is.
No nepotistic favors?
Father tries to separate business and personal life.
If I went down to this filing location, this...
Tushuguan. I can get you the address.
What kind of clearance would I need to get to those files?
A warrant, I'm afraid. I know that sounds confrontational, but it's an effort to protect the privacy of our employees. I've heard rumors of this case. It's terrible the way they found that girl.
And then it struck me. She looked kind of like John. A longer face, perhaps. A little older. I don't think they could pass for sisters, but maybe second cousins. Or maybe there was more racism bred into us all than we'd care to admit.
I heard of the death yesterday, and the fact that she was one of our employees only a few hours ago.
I was under the impression you met her. Is that incorrect?
I had not. I hadn't met her.
Then who hired her?
My father, I would assume. He handles most of the outreach hires. Is he not who led you here?
No.
The dockmaster at Wharf 74 pointed us in the right direction.
Oh, of course. Mr. The large man with the 3 arms, Mr.
Dai Fu Ling.
Dai Fu Ling. That's right. I'm embarrassed. But as you can tell, the daily interactions aren't my specialty. More of the administrative and contractual side of things.
She looked flustered, almost upset a little. But she had been more helpful than the blind old lady who had waltzed around all of my questions.
Anything else I can do for you, detectives?
Thank you for giving us the address.
Right. Let me get that.
The blind lady, the hoppers, and the Yakuza were the top 3 names on my dance card. The blind lady had tried to do something to us. Something in that tea that had made Little Miss Liar forget everything. Maybe she was using a turn of phrase to tell me what she had seen. But between the 3 of us, there was only one good eye. Like Greek fates or something. And why would they remember this farm girl so well and not even begin to remember Dai Fu Ling, who, being the dockmaster, seemed to have barely remembered the girl? And my perfect memory witness didn't remember her at all. The Jiangshi had given me a bad gut feeling. I had believed the Yakuza, but there's only so much evidence you can deny. Radio broadcasts, questionable eyewitnesses, and a fire pit in the middle of New York. But why would they sew her back up? Why take the organs in the first place? How had the police not known about a turf war? We're not all knowing, but we should know something. I figured it was time to go to the other side of the coin and hear what this triad lunatic had to say. Dayu is a little nightclub that the people of Chinatown go to let their hair down. Worst kept secret in New York is that it's owned by the triads. But to get to the bosses, you walk through the kitchen. Once you get through the flaming oil and Mugu Gaipan, you take a left into the basement. A long concrete hallway will lead you to a dungeon/parlor. The office of the head of the triads, Sun Wukong. But before that, before you ever get there, you can almost always hear him laughing. My never-needing eyeglasses partner clung to me a little tighter, and in normal circumstances I wouldn't have minded. But in this case, I agreed with her completely. Discarded banana peels lined our way like breadcrumbs to a witch's house. Normally, fruit on the ground would make you think of a slob or a comedian working on his routine. But something about the rot, the carelessness, the echo of that faraway laugh, you knew you were walking into trouble.
喂，你有客啊！
I know. I'm aware. I'm perceptive. I smell Mogwai and Mongolian deathworm, but I didn't smell bacon.
Wukong,
Cyclops. I didn't expect you here, wallowing in depravity with the rest of us lowlifes.
a long-armed ghoul had greeted us. The Monkey King played pool with a slimy-looking clam monster. All three wore suits that looked like they hadn't been made for them. And then a tall bag of bones walked into the room.
Is this that cop you was telling me about, Sonny? He ain't that ugly. No, you take you a marker and put another pupil on that mug, and you can take him home to the folks.
I think the other one would need more work.
誒，我有功俾佢啊！
He said...
I know what he said. I'm here on behalf of the MNYPD, and you will answer the damn questions I have to ask. Do not make me repeat myself.
Oh, I like this one. I think I'll keep her.
I got some questions, too. Let me do some interrogating, will ya? What I want to know, what's your shoe size, Mr. I?
Detective.
Ooh, commanding. I like that. You're awfully tight-lipped and stiff, Detective. Perhaps I could loosen you up?
小心啊，太慫啲冇用啦。
I'll pass, doll.
Big hands, big feet, and hard to get? You're a mountain worth climbing, Detective.
She's no stranger to grasping at stones.
I can get your rocks off, honey.
Get our guest a few beers. You want beers? Whiskey? Opium? We got a buffet of goodies, Mr. Detective.
We're fine.
You are fine?
We are. Are you?
I'll get us a couple of beers, and maybe we'll party later.
Am I fine? That's an interesting question, isn't it? What if I wasn't? What if I was strung too tight? And here you are, the two of you, all by your lonesome, off the beaten path and in my dark little corner of my dark little world, armed with only your wits and an unpolished revolver. That is what's in your holster, isn't it? Some police-issued piece that you've left sad and neglected. Not you, pretty liar. I'm talking about his gun. Which one do you think could stop me first? If I wasn't fine, if I was the opposite of fine, which one would put me down? Your wits or a bullet? Oh, wouldn't it be such fun to find out? By the way, can I get you a banana?
I'm here about the Yakuza.
And now you've brought the room down. What do you want to know about them?
What's the relationship between the Yakuza and the Triads like?
We don't keep our eyes open when we make love anymore, if that's what you're asking.
There's a rumor that Susanoo's making a move on your territory, on Chinatown.
Don't you hate rumors? I heard a rumor once.
Any truth to it?
Yes and no. That's the tricky thing about rumors. They're like a gas leak. Do you smell gas? Do I smell gas? Or are we in danger? Can we find the source, the hole in the pipe? Do we die here vomiting like dogs? Does it even matter if we find it or should we just leave? Is this all just in my brain? Don't light the cigarette, Johnny! Bang!
And if Susanoo was making a move...
I'd kill him. You know that. He knows it. I like the guy. But I'd have Shin. Shin, say hi.
Hi.
Shin would hold him down. And I cut his Nihongo speaking head off. I put his head on the stage upstairs, use it to hold the microphones down for the singers like a paperweight.
And you like the guy.
Like's a strong word.
Beers are over here on the table. You can serve yourselves. Except you, Mr. Detective. I can serve you if you want. I give good service.
Lip service.
Oh, I give the very best lip service, Mr. Detective.
They found a dead girl last night.
慢慢地有世界啊。
At the Gremlin place.
Oh, the Pearl of the East, the Mogwai. You know that every time it rains, they go into the streets and make the whoopee? With mailboxes, passing poodles, hat-eating sandwiches. You think they did it?
Maybe. Or maybe you did it.
Good possibility. Who can tell with me these days?
I'm going to need a little more specificity.
I found a note.
F sharp?
The tune was closer to a war between you and the Japanese.
It's more of a tussle. Like a game of arm wrestling with guns.
The note was a reminder for the triads to remember the oaths. To push Susanoo and his like back into the sea. It was stapled to her body.
Stapled? That's new. At least this city hasn't lost its creative edge. But you know what? Some people have bad memories. What did I have for breakfast? Whose turn is it? Where did I hide the bodies? You might not remember that the triads and yaks have been butting heads for centuries. It's civil. It's a tin-pot rivalry. Simple, easy. We both want the same thing. We're rival businessmen with each of us having a coffee shop on the same block. We want money, drugs, alcohol, sex.
Someone say my name.
Fun's the name of the game, dick.
Murder part of your fun?
Casualties, not murder. So, yes. But no. There's a war coming in Chinatown. It has nothing to do with us, though. So much difference boiling over like a damn pot of noodles. You know what I like about the Mogwai?
Giddy on what you ho.
He asked, what is there to like about them?
What's not to like?
They are fantastic.
It was a rhetorical question! So let me ask again. Do you know what I like about the Mogwai? The thing they do where they screw in the rain. Every time it rains. Every damn time. There aren't any girl Mogwai left. You know that? Rhetorical question. Doesn't matter to them, though. It starts pouring, they start whoring. You can be a zombie, a dead rat, a shoe. Rain turns them on, and they act on impulse. Everything can be so simple, but instead, no. Precious little differences. I speak Cantonese. I speak Mandarin. I believe in this god. I believe in that one. It's bullshit. Do what you want and have fun.
That's my man. A regular Shakespeare. Come here, honey.
We didn't kill her. And if that yak wants a war, I'll handle that 5-0. Don't you worry.
Hadn't gone as bad as it could have. An old partner of mine, Bugsy, had gone to see the Monkey King one time and asked one question too many for the Majesty's liking. He left missing 4 toes. Wukong did a couple of months behind bars, but a guy like that, the penitentiary's just a penthouse with a different address. Bugsy was fine. Just complained about not being able to stridulate for a few weeks, whatever the hell that means. But everything grew back. The other thing that was growing back, my doubts. If there was a movement being made in Chinatown, Wukong would know it. Question was, would he say it? All these muddled ideas were a lukewarm bath I was soaking in when... The noise caught me off guard. I turned to find my sightless companion on the pavement, unconscious, her gorgeous legs sprawled out behind her. Standing over her, a big white demon thing, snarling, its tongue hanging out, ready to pounce.
Tune in next time to see your favorite peace officer work his way out of this one.
Crime may like to hide in the shadows, but it can never really hide from the eye.
The Eye in Big Trouble in Little Chinatown is brought to you by Bean Dip Productions and the Neighborhood Studio. The Eye is recorded at the Neighborhood Studio in Atlanta, Georgia. That's a rocket.